Most of the time I'll get to a point in a painting where I feel like any other ideas of what I want to add feels too much, like taking it too far. And yet in some ways the piece still feels unfinished to me. And everybody's going to have sort of a different relationship with knowing when something's finished or not. But usually for me, a lot of the times that sort of conflict is resolved by just adding either an umber wash or some sort of like charcoal rub or something, just to sort of unify all the layers and integrate everything together. And so I'm actually going to use this graphite stick. It's a graphite crayon. And I'm going to do some scribbling. And then I'm going to kind of rub it back with a wipe. And that's going to go in the low spots and kind of stay in those low spots. But then I can keep rubbing it off the higher spots. It looks scary at this stage, right? It's like, oh no, what have I done? Now, as I'm going along, I will often alternate between wet and dry to remove the wet. Obviously removes more, and sometimes I don't want to remove too much and still see how the dry removes less, but I can always add more if I want to. But I like alternating back and forth to really dial it in to the exact amount that I want. So you could totally leave it like this. I really like how it's given it just a little bit more depth. But I feel like I want to make a couple of these red spots back to being a little bit more vibrant. So I could do that with an oil pastel. I could do that with a little glob of paint. In this situation, I'm going to do it with a little bit of I've got a bright oil pastel here. Maybe I don't want to do it to all of it, maybe just some of them. Oh dear. That's one disadvantage to oil pastels. Sometimes it can smear in a way that creates a result you don't like. Well, that wasn't part of my plan, but as that was happening, I thought, okay, well, I guess I'll just put some white paint over it and let it dry and then come back with the charcoal. But I kind of like the pop of just really bright white. So I think I'm going to leave that. It wasn't what I planned to do. But it does answer that kind of question of, okay, now how do I juice it up a little bit? How do I get it back to that fun, bright pop of color that I had before? Scratching into that kind of again with the integrating it. And I don't need everything to be integrated. I don't mind if some stuff feels like it's kind of sitting on top or another layer. Maybe rub through to some of the paper underneath. What happens if I kind of scratch through some of that? So you can just keep playing. So in addition to the colors of the magazine pages, you've also got the layers of paper, right? So it doesn't have to just end with color that you put on. It can keep going through scratching and other sort of kind of integrating that way too. So when you look at it up close, you have all sorts of interesting texture, and all of that started from a weird ad with goldfish on it. So I'm gonna let this dry, and you know, a lot of the times my default is to coat something in encaustic medium. If you have followed me at all, you know that that's like my favorite finishing layer. You certainly don't have to do that. And in this situation, I'm gonna try just probably just sealing it with a matte medium. When all is said and done, it'll be a nice integrating kind of cohesive finish, and it will allow all of this interesting visual and actual texture just really be enjoyable.